Hello, everybody. This is Vince Russo, and welcome to my Royal Rumble review. And this show is brought to you by RockBottomCases.com. Let me tell you a little bit about Rock Bottom Cases. Rock Bottom phone cases and accessories. The people at Rock Bottom phone cases understand how important your mobile device is to your daily routine. So rockbottomcases.com sells high quality phone cases at rock bottom prices. For a limited time, you can get 10% off your purchase of $9.99 or more by using the coupon code BRAND at checkout. Visit rockbottomcases.com today, and as always, free shipping on everything and no sales tax. rockbottomcases.com. Never overpay for phone accessories. Again, that's rockbottomcases.com. Okay, I told you earlier in the day I was going to review the Royal Rumble match. I'll be honest with you. I had no interest in sitting down and watching this whole event. I just didn't. I just wasn't interested, and I'm just being honest with you. If you guys, love the WWE and you love watching a 3 or 4 hour event, that's great. Watch it. I'm just not into it anymore. So, I wanted to make it clear earlier in the day, I was not going to watch this show from beginning to end, and I didn't. I saw the results. I'm glad Charlotte retained. You know how I feel about Charlotte Flair. I don't think anybody should beat Charlotte. I think she should be the women's champion, and she should go through opponent after opponent after opponent because she's that good. Kevin Owens, with the help of Strowman, retained the WWE Universal title. I still don't understand that, guys. And I'm sorry. With this roster and the guys on this roster, I don't understand why Kevin Owens is a champion. I mean, I just don't. That's me. So I didn't understand that at all. But things start getting very confusing as we go into the Royal Rumble because from what I read, Braun Strowman interfered in that Universal title match, and that enabled Kevin Owens to go over. So right there now you have some heat between Strowman and Roman Reigns. So looking at that, if it were me on the surface, I would think that that's the angle. Roman Reigns, again, lost his shot at the Universal title due to Strowman. I would think that that's the angle. But then we get to this Royal Rumble match. And listen, I'm going to tell you right now, tomorrow on my show on the Realm Network, and you can subscribe to the Realm Network by going to the Realm Network, RELM Network.com, or going to russosbrand.com, and you can subscribe. You get a show every week, 5 shows a week, and it's only $2.95 for the entire month, and everything's on video. Tomorrow, I am going to break down how to lay out a Royal Rumble. And what are the goals going into the Royal Rumble, and what I always looked at going into a Royal Rumble, what we had to achieve in the match. I'm going to lay that all out for you tomorrow on the Realm Network, and it will air on Podcast One on Tuesday. I really want to break down the science of the Royal Rumble match. But before I talk a little bit about that here, I want to tell you I did catch the AJ Styles John Cena match. Listen, I'm a huge fan of both guys. These are true athlete, professional wrestlers through and through. Obviously, I worked a very long time with AJ Styles. I know AJ personally. I love the guy personally and professionally. I never had the honor of working with John Cena, but John Cena is as good as they get. I really enjoyed this match. Somebody mentioned to me, oh, Vince, what about all the false finishes? Didn't the false finish bother you? You will hear me say this a lot, especially when I go back and I review Attitude Era shows on our programming. When you're kicking out at 3 off of a wrestling move, I don't have a problem with that. And even though there were a lot of false finishes in this match, all of these false finishes came off wrestling moves, not a guy going through a table, not a guy getting his head banged into the ring steps. They were wrestling legitimate moves where you could have kicked out on 3. So I did not have an issue with any of the kickouts in this match. I thought it was a great match. I thought the right guy won. Cena, he had put AJ over numerous times. AJ had to give something back to Cena. This will probably continue. But, man, I thought this was a phenomenal match from finish to end. Didn't have problems with the false finishes. The way it was laid out, they all made sense. So it was good to me. The Royal Rumble. Like I said, tomorrow I'm really going to break this down. I'm going to break this down of what you have to achieve in a Royal Rumble, what you have to get out of a Royal Rumble. I want to really, really dissect this tomorrow, and I will use this match as an example. But let's face it, there were a few highlights in this match. Obviously, the first highlight was Braun Strowman, and I think he eliminated 7 guys. They made Strowman look really, really, really good. From there, let's face it, Strowman was the number 7 guy. After Strowman, it was Zayn, Big Show, Ty Dillinger, James Ellsworth, Ambrose, Corbin, Kofi. From 7 all the way till 26, nothing really happened. I mean, let's be honest. There was a lot of fodder. Sheamus and Cesaro eliminated New Day. Who cares? Then they got faced. Who cares? I don't care about any of that stuff. Nothing really happened. But here's what happened. Brock Lesnar came out, number 26. They made him look strong. They set up the Lesnar-Goldberg showdown beautifully. They set it up beautifully. And Goldberg caught him again. This has to tell me they got to be doing some kind of stipulation, something now with Goldberg and Lesnar at WrestleMania. Either Lesnar's career is on the line, whatever they're going to do, because you can't take it to Lesnar like Goldberg did twice and not have there be some kind of a payoff. So I would assume they did it that way to bring the match to WrestleMania, probably give Lesnar his comeuppance at WrestleMania. Then again, beautifully, I want to say this again, they set up Goldberg and Taker. This was done really, really, really well. Now, a couple of interesting things happened. Goldberg eliminates Taker, and then Reigns eliminates Taker. Taker eliminates Goldberg, I believe. Let me get this right. Hold on. Taker eliminates Goldberg. Reigns eliminates Taker. So that was interesting to me. And the match ends. Everybody thinks they're going Reigns. They're going Reigns. They're going Reigns. You know, Vince has been shoving Reigns down. Everybody saw, and I've been saying all along, Reigns is going to be the guy, whether you like it or not, because that's what Vince McMahon wants. But they pulled a surprise, and Randy Orton won. Now, bro, listen, in my opinion, Randy Orton's time is come and gone. And I'll be honest with you, I'm so confused with the Universal Champion and now Cena being the WWE Champion. Like, I'm not even sure who Orton faces. I think Orton faces Cena. I'm not even sure. And if that's the case, we've seen that a million times before. If I'm wrong and it's the Owens, Owens and Orton, I mean, please. So I'm assuming it's Cena and Orton again. I remember in the past they've had great matches and there were great promos, but been there and done that. The only reason I think they set it up this way was because I think they used the other eliminations to set up the other matches for WrestleMania. I think, by Reigns eliminating Taker, that could set up Taker and Reigns. And then I think, again, Lesnar has to get another match, against Goldberg. So that could set up those two matches where Orton now has Cena. So that's the only sense I can make out of it. Nobody wanted Reigns to win that match at the end, but quite frankly, I don't think anybody wanted Randy Orton to win the match at the end. I think they could have been a little bit more creative of who won this Rumble. But again, I think the Rumble was used as a tool to set up WrestleMania. And if that's the case, like I said, maybe they get Reigns and Taker, maybe they get, Goldberg and Lesnar again. I mean, I don't know. That's the only thing I could make sense out of Orton winning this Rumble. I'm not going to sit here and get all upset in this. I don't care. I mean, quite frankly, I don't care if it's Cena and Orton. Who cares? I mean, it's not going to change my life, so it doesn't matter to me. But I really think they could have made somebody, really made somebody in this match. And again, I'm going to break it down tomorrow, what the Royal Rumble should accomplish. And of course, one of the big things it should accomplish is, what is the card going to be at WrestleMania? Because that's what they're working towards in WrestleMania. And who knows? Maybe between now and WrestleMania, Orton loses his title shot. Who knows? I don't know. I'm just calling it like I see it, and that's the way I see it. But like I said, listen to my show tomorrow on the Realm Network. I'm going to tell you how a Royal Rumble needs to be booked. And I'm going to tell you where the WWE hit the mark and where they missed, because they did a lot of good things in the Rumble. And like I said, the way they set up Lesnar and Goldberg was beautiful. The way they set up Goldberg and Taker was beautiful too. Those were the two big moments in the match. Reigns and Taker, I don't think that was a big moment. I think the two big moments were Goldberg, Taker, and, Lesnar, Goldberg. I think those were the two moments. I think they set them up beautifully. I did miss the surprises, though, in this year's Rumble. There were no surprises. I mean, the fact that, Ellsworth and Ty, I didn't even know who Ty Dillinger was. If we don't watch NXT, how are we supposed to know who Ty Dillinger was? So the fact that, guys like Dillinger and guys like, Ellsworth, Mojo Rawley, Jack Gallagher, come on, please. I mean, give me a couple of surprises. I mean, that's what we all watched the Rumble for. I remember, I think it was last year or the year before, it was Bubba. And then I remember, Paige being in the Rumble. I remember Big Daddy Cool, Kevin Nash being in the Rumble. Not that I'm saying they should have brought any of those guys back. Kurt Angle would have been nice in the Royal Rumble. But, again, the guys I just mentioned, oy vey. But anyway, that's it. That's my review. Tomorrow, I'm going to really break down the Royal Rumble match from a booking perspective. And a guy that booked many of these matches with guys like Rock and Austin and Shawn and Triple H and Taker and Mick. I'm going to tell you what the objective was going into these matches. And I'm going to tell you whether or not the WWE paid it off on tonight's match. But watch me tomorrow, Realm Network, RELM Network.com, or go to russosbrand.com to sign up. It's only $2.95 a month. You get 5 shows a week, or you will hear that show on Podcast One on Tuesday. It's always a day behind on Podcast One. And to subscribe to my show on Podcast One, all you have to do is go to podcastone.com/the-brand. Subscribe to my show. It'll tell you when my show drops, and it'll give you a description of the next show. Absolutely free, does not cost you anything. I'm on Podcast One Monday through Friday. But that's it. Again, this show was sponsored by rockbottomcases.com. Check them out right now. You get 10% off your purchase of $9.99 or more by using the coupon code BRAND, B-R-A-N-D, at checkout. Check it out, rockbottomcases.com. I will see you tomorrow on the Realm Network and Podcast One, and we will really, really break this Rumble down. Thanks for listening, everybody. Take care.